Hi guys, I'm Sarah, and today we're going to be reviewing Gage's script. He said he's a little busy right now and he paid me $5 to make this video, so here I am. But I'm not going to work that hard for $5. We're going to go over everything we need to as quick as I can. The highest win streak I built up on this was like, well, that I've seen before it crashed, is like 115. I'll show a screenshot right now if I could just find it. But yeah, this bot does not lose. I'm really impressed that Gage made something like this. But to go over the script really quick, let's start with the solver section. So this is show stats. This will show the stats of on the right side of the player. So for me, it'll show how many wins I have, my win rate, and the streak I currently have, and the stolen words I've stolen. And for other players, it'll show how many matches we've done with them. So right now, this guy has done 1 match with me, and it'll count how many losses they have against me and how many solves. So this will keep track of how many words they know, which we'll get into in a second. But auto-join will auto-join the game for you, and you can set a join delay if you want to. 3 to 5 seconds is usually good enough to make it seem like you're human. And auto-solve will do basically what it says. It'll automatically solve it for you, typing the answer automatically. And instant solve instantly text the answer, so it'll just be instant, like the arrow will just flick back to them immediately. But yeah, that's what it does. I'll showcase it in a second, but since we're gonna go over them we'll go over them in a second. It's just, I want to wait until the lobby's full that we showcase these. But stealing solves, we'll showcase that later in a second too. It's because it'll only work if during the next match, after I've built up a profile on them. So as you can see, I have 31 solves of this guy, 32 now. It'll just keep building up, and then eventually all these words that he uses, I will use it against him in the next round. That's what that does. Next is variance. This sets your typing speed. 190 is pretty good. I would say 190 to 130 is pretty human enough. And it can go up to 1,000. Pretty sure, like 1,000. So if you want to set it to around 190, well, to me, I'd set it to 190. Next is answer at the fuse time. So this will determine when to type the answer for you. You could, if you see this little circle thing around the bomb, this is basically that. So 20% is around somewhere here. So around here is when I start to answer. So you can see, there you go. Yeah, you could set when to answer. And I think this can go up to 75%. Next is jittering. This is a little hard to explain, but I'll do my best for $5. So jittering is basically a way to add a delay to every single word. So when you type a word, right, and I set a typing speed, sometimes most scripts it'll type them linearly. So it'll seem very obvious, like when they're typing. It's very just an uphill. Well, it'll just be like a diagonal line when they type, which is very obvious. So jittering like adds randomization to it. It'll make it seem more random. So hang on, let me just wait for my turn actually, so we can see the stolen words. There you go. As you can see, it'll hover a word, add an animation, so you can visualize the word you stole from them. As you can see, it'll like come out from them and go into me, symbolizing I've stolen a word from them. As you can see, it'll do it again, I think. Nope. So it'll only steal words if it finds a prompt for the words that I know from them. Back to jittering. So this will basically like add delays, about 0.17 seconds of delays in between letters and randomly select which letter. So it's, bro, how is that a word? You could just say it. What? Do you not have to type this thing? No, I am not Chap and Mr. Sam's. But yeah, that's what jittering does. It'll just make that diagonal line of linear typing seem more random. And RNG variation is another step to that. So variation is basically what I would call human error, because humans don't type consistently, even with the jittering. They type, sometimes they type slower, sometimes they type faster. That's just how humans are. But depending on the variation of that, we can create a variable for you. came up with this RNG variation. I don't know what RNG stands for. I do know what variation means. And the plus and minus 22% basically just means these values of typing speed, answer, and jittering, they can shift to 22% or 0% or negative 22%. So basically, sometimes it will type at 90 words per minute, sometimes it'll type at 170, but it'll be based off of this variation that you set. And I think 22 is a good number if you want to still see, you know, random. But yeah, I wouldn't go any higher because it might be too slow to type an answer. Assist people if you want to help them, you know, on their turn. This messages them on every turn, so that if I just turn this on, it'll type out an answer for his prompt automatically. You just wait. And this chat template is basically, how do I say? %s is basically the answer that you give. And if you want to change it, you could just say, yeah, like, let's do try %s. Try %s. Yeah, I think that's good. Try TA for the prompts. And the TA was his prompt. And he types this long word instead. But yeah, you could just help people in the chat, and this is the template you will use. If you don't include this, it will just append the word to the template, I guess. I think that's what he did. I'm not sure. But if I remove this and try, let's say 3 solutions and I message, it will type 3 solutions for them to write, which is cool, and it's pretty fast. Next is the database. So to make this script smarter and more adaptive, Gabe added a way to count the correct words that do work from other players and yourself into a table that you can use for yourself. So this will basically, like, you can build your own save file of correct words that you know, and it'll automatically add words that other players use and what you use, and even blocked words as well. So as you can see, there, I like the animation that Gabe added for stealing words, which is really nice. The blocked words will basically add blocked words that only you test. So when Gabe made this, he ran through a lot of bugs to make this work. It's because sometimes it blocks words that actually do work. So yeah, so we added a couple ways to prevent it. Hopefully it doesn't block working words anymore, but yeah, it used to. But hopefully it doesn't anymore. Meant to save words that block words, so you can just add and block words here if you want to. So if I enter this word, it's gonna say already added, type it here instead, and it will say removed. Because as you can see, already removed, like it's not even there. But I wanna add it since I know that myopathic is a working word. And same for blocked words. This will do the same for all of them. So yeah, that's what that does. So this is just, I guess, dynamically updating the table that you want. It's all up to you. Next is the stats section. This is actually really hard to explain, but I'm gonna do my best for $5. First is attrition. So this is basically a way for Gabe to calculate how likely he is to survive in the game. So RPM means rate per minute. So this will calculate how likely you are to win the game per minute. And survival is the opposite of that. It's not per minute, it's per turn. So, well, it's per prompt actually. So rate per prompt is basically what RPP stands for. Rate per prompt. This will determine how likely you are to survive the prompt. So let's say this percentage goes down to about 90%. That means you have a 90% chance of winning or surviving on the next turn. And attrition is another step up to that. So assuming you have a 90% chance of survival per prompt, since if you type really fast or if you use instant solve, you will basically go through a lot of prompts really quickly. And survival of 90% isn't a good way to determine that. And attrition is basically a better way for you to understand that. So think of attrition as you having let's say you have a 1 in 50 chance to survive the prompt, right? Since time is a factor in this game, it would be like rolling a 1 in 50 dice, like 1,000 times really fast. Eventually, you're going to trigger the 1% where you do lose. So attrition is basically that. It'll detect the rate per minute at which you lose. So this is a more accurate representation of how likely you are to win a game. And this number is better calculated with how many more words, saved words that you know. So the more saved words you know, the more accurate it will be. Are you typing words I did? Yes, I am, sir. I am stealing them from you. Turns also calculate how many turns we've done so far. So right now we've done 66 turns, and 362 is the highest turns that I've reached. So it'll calculate both. And when this number, the one on the right, surpasses the one on the left, it'll just type it'll just be a single turn, because that is the highest turns. It's just a way for you to see how many turns you've gone to when you leave the script AFK, to see if someone has, really pushed the bot. But so far, this script usually only gets to like less than 500 turns on like most lobbies. And for prompt, no solution will basically write the prompts that have no solutions for, or the first prompts that you run out of. So it's just a good way to figure out if you find a prompt you finally ran out of solutions for. Since most prompts basically have solutions, it's a good way to determine which prompts have the least solutions. So yeah, that's what that's for. There you go. You could see it has over 800 for PS, 1,000 for SM, 200 for WR. And match will show the first match that it finds. So, and Joy, please. You, beautiful. Mexico. But yeah, just like that. And frequency and solvability and vulnerability are a little hard to explain, so I'm going to do my best. Again, for $5. So what Gabe intended was what this game originally intended. Since Gabe told me he was talking with the developer of this game, he'd actually planned to add these things in the game just to see the stats of each prompt, but Gabe decided to add it himself, I guess. This is what they are. So frequency determines how frequent a prompt is to show up, because he wanted to find out how likely a prompt is to show, since he assumed not all prompts are created equal. So each prompt has its own variants themselves. So as you can see, EG has a 0.34% of showing up, DUF has a 0.1. You get the idea. It's just to show how frequent they show up as a prompt. And this is something you build on your own, by the way. So the more games you play, the more accurate these three are going to be. As you can see, for solvability, it's going to be the percentage at which how likely the prompt is to actually be solved by players. So it'll show a percentage right here, and then a number right here. So this number in parentheses represents how many data points I have saved. So right now, I've recorded 700 people using this prompt, so over how many times it was actually solved, calculating the solvability rate as accurate as possible. Next is vulnerability. This is a way to determine how vulnerable I am to the prompt, meaning how many solutions I have over the frequency of this prompt. So let's say a prompt appears like 0% of the time and I have 1,000. The vulnerability is going to be really low. But if I only have 2 solutions, let's say, for a frequency of like 1%, I'm very vulnerable, meaning this prompt could show up and I can only solve it twice. So the vulnerability will increase drastically. But usually this number is going to be really low because there's usually a lot of solutions despite the frequency. So you'll be okay. But it's just a way to see how weak you are to the prompt. You should just keep in mind the prompts that are like 5% or more, let's say. But yeah, that's the purpose of these 3. It's just to visualize these statistics. Next is dictionary. This will determine what solves I use. So you could choose from Oxford, Wordbomb, Scrabble, Yowl. I don't know how to pronounce that. I think this means yet another word list, and this means tournament word list 06 and Datamuse. So these are And the parentheses represent the amount of words they contain. So API just means it's gonna be finding words online, but I recommend using word bomb since this is the actual words word bomb uses, but some words strangely don't work, despite them being in the word bomb table. So yeah, that's confusing. But next is priority. This will determine what kind of words you type, in what order. So it'll type common words first if you select it, or it'll type rare words if you choose rare. It'll type short words if you want to only type short words, or the longest words if you want to type the longest words. Personally, I would say common words or short words are better, since if you type common words, you take away the words that most humans know, which is the common ones. Taking them away means they're more likely to lose the match because they're not available anymore. You're taking the common words from them, so they're less likely to think of them. Next is use correct data. This will use your saved words table. It's good if you want to just win faster or find words quicker, so I recommend turning that on. But if you don't want to use it, you should disable this and then turn on avoid saves. If you turn on this, it'll avoid words that you already have saved, so it encourages you to use more unique words. So it's a way for you to grow your data set. Next is avoid dashes and apostrophes. So some words contain dashes and apostrophes. I'm not sure why, but yeah, they're accepted. So if you don't want to use them and just use normal words, you can just turn these on. Then word length chooses how long of the words you want to use. But I personally just recommend maxing it so you have the most solutions possible, because it'll go down drastically if you let's set this to 12 or something. It's not gonna find much words available for you to use. So yeah, I recommend just maxing this. Alright, I have to showcase instant solve. So instant solve will instantly say the answer just like that. Now, if we go over it again, it will be so quick. Let's see, come on. Alan, hurry up. Be instant. There we go. It'll just be that quick for it to go next, which is really cool. It's very obvious, so if you don't want to be obvious, don't turn that on. But if you always want to win, this is a guaranteed way to always win, if you check the answer instantly. Oh yeah, and Gabe wanted me to go over how this script can still lose. So if you want to know how to beat this script, the odds of winning are if you last. So the longer you last, the more likely you are to win against this bot. So if you last around, the problem is you have to last them really long, but if you last long enough, you can win. So you just have to last about 20,000 turns was the max turns I reached before it finally lost. But it's only losing because it runs out of solutions for the prompt. Eventually, we're gonna run out of solutions, just like how a normal player will run out of solutions when they think of something. Eventually, they'll stop thinking of anything, just like this bot. But eventually, you'll get to a point where it's based purely on chance to win. So if you want to win, we're gonna have to cross our fingers and hope we get a prompt that has solutions. But odds are it's really difficult, but it's possible to still beat the bot. Other ways you can still lose is if the script just crashes, unfortunately, or if you disconnect from the server. So yeah, but the highest I've seen this go so far in terms of like a win streak, right now I'm on like a 16 win streak. The highest I've seen was 115 from me personally. But yeah, Gabe really worked so hard on the script. I'm so impressed. I've never seen a word bond script do this. Most word bond scripts usually just find words and they don't save them, and they don't use it against other players, and they don't know how to sort them properly. So it does it really well, and Gabe offers so many dictionaries for you to use, and even assist people. If the only thing I'd say Gabe is missing is he should have added a mistake chance, so a chance to make a mistake, since humans make mistakes. He should have like a percentage here for the mistake chance, and he should add an assist delay for messaging the answer too, since you know, it answers right away. Like, that's really suspicious. So yeah. But the on mistake, if you message an answer and you choose on mistake, it'll just reply with an answer if they make a mistake, which seems more realistic, but it's still pretty obvious, since I think having a fuse time answer would be much better. This is the most I've ever seen like a typical word solving script would ever have. But yeah, that's it for the showcase. And it's just really fun to watch like it work. I just reply yes. But honestly, what keeps me like from using the script is I want to honestly find someone that can beat the script. Because I know it is beatable, technically. I mean, hypothetically, theoretically it's beatable, so... But it's just gonna be really hard. Especially since Gib added stealing solve, which steals words from other players, making it harder for them to even, like, win, since I'm taking away their words. And if you take away their words, they're more likely to lose. And thank you, Gabe, for the $5 and letting me test your script. It was really fun. Bye, guys!